I'm about to head off to the Detroit Lions playoff game and playoff win, hence the reblued hair. But first, good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. I am beyond pumped. I've dreamed of this moment pretty much since I was very little. The Lions have not hosted a home playoff game since I was 2 years old, and I didn't know anything about football at 2 years old. So basically, this is the first home playoff game in my life. But before I go, this is going to be an amazing weekend. I wanted to give you guys something to watch, which is Nintendo Switch games going out of print. And what the heck does this mean, and why so many at once? So what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. First off, I want to let you know that Nintendo Switch was the console with the most games released in 2023. They had over 2,000 games released. 2,360 games came out on Nintendo Switch in 2023. How many of those did you play? It's crazy to think like you could have played 100 games and you still didn't even play 10% of what was out on Nintendo Switch. You didn't even play 5% of what came out last year alone on Nintendo Switch. And I don't believe this includes any of like the NSO, like the virtual console type stuff at all. This is all like brand new game releases. So they clearly usurped PlayStation and Xbox in terms of game releases, but they came not even a candle wick within Steam, which pushed over 14,000 new titles in 2023. Absolutely insane, absolutely absurd, and based on people I've talked to, it sounds like that is one of the biggest issues in the industry right now, is that there's just too many games. Too many good games, too many bad games, too many games. It's inevitable that games are going to fail because there's just too many. But what about games that you cannot buy anymore? This cropped up a few days ago, and I've kind of waited to cover it because I wanted to make sure that it held true. I wanted to make sure that these games weren't just facing some weird stock issue and that they have stayed out of stock and out of print as people are surmising, and it really does seem to be the case. A strange number of Nintendo first-party games, and some of their most popular, are mysteriously not for sale anymore just about anywhere. It started off looking at games like Metroid Dread, Pikmin 3 Deluxe, Paper Mario: The Origami King. Now, when I saw those three, I was like, okay, those games are popular Nintendo first-party games, but they're not mega sellers, right? This isn't like Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, Mario Kart. This is Paper Mario. This is Pikmin 3 Deluxe, which was kind of like, hey, we're porting it over. This is Metroid Dread, which did sell well, but it's still a Metroid game. And then I saw the full list. When the full list was uncovered, I said, okay, something very strange is going on here. And let me read you this full list of games that are currently unavailable in the US. Like if you go on Amazon, you can find Metroid Dread, but if you look carefully, it's being shipped from Amazon UK. It is a European version. You can find Mario Odyssey, but it's being shipped from the UK. It's a European version. Paper Mario: The Origami King is out of print. So is Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, Pikmin 3 Deluxe, Metroid Dread, Kirby Star Allies, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, Fire Emblem Three Houses, Fire Emblem Engage, which just came out like a year ago, Yoshi's Crafted World, WarioWare Get It Together, Nintendo Switch Sports, which is also relatively new, Super Mario Odyssey, which is like a mainstay, Splatoon 2, Super Mario Maker 2, and Mario Strikers Battle League. Now, these games are all in their own way popular. None of these are like huge duds, right? It's not like we're seeing Sushi Striker and ARMS go out of print. These are major first-party titles. And so what everyone is kind of hypothesizing is going on here is one of two things. One, Nintendo is preparing to release a select line of Nintendo Switch games. As you might be familiar with past consoles, Nintendo does like a selects or a player's choice line, which is to release these games with new ugly packaging and to put them at a lower price point. It's to introduce sort of like a $30 or a $40 tier for older Switch games to help really push software in the later years of the console cycle. That way, if you just spend a bunch of money on new Switch games like Mario RPG, the upcoming Princess Peach Showtime, you're ready for the new Paper Mario, and maybe you want to get back to the old Paper Mario, or you missed Mario Odyssey or Mario Strikers, you can go back and grab those for a lower price. There's a high possibility that Nintendo is considering this, but there's another possibility. The other possibility is that Nintendo is ready to rebrand these games' packaging with packaging that indicates it's playable on both Switch 1 and Switch 2. Backwards compatibility has been a big discussion in regards to rumors and reports of the next Nintendo console. How will it handle all of the Switch software that's already out there? All of the games that everyone already has, it would be pretty sucky to just say, ditch your catalog. We just talked about how many Switch games have released. Ditch your library. It ain't going to work. I firmly believe that Nintendo is going to allow these Switch games to play on Switch 2. And maybe Nintendo does want to sort of take all the current copies out of circulation and prep with their bigger titles a new box that shows, hey, playable on Switch 1 and Switch 2. That would be another very good reason for them to do this. The reason that they just don't want to sell these games anymore does not fly for me. The reason that they want to clear store shelves for space for Switch 2 does not fly for me. To me, the only reason you do this is if you are going to be rebranding these games in some way. 1A, with a price cut and a Nintendo Selects type line. 2B, with a Nintendo Switch 2 branding to indicate that these games are playable on both. And then that begs the question, why this list? Are there going to be certain games that aren't playable? Are they only going to work to make and port over certain games to work and have playability, backwards compatibility with the Switch 2? I don't know. I think that's getting too far off in the weeds, too far out there. We don't even have the console announced, but this is very bizarre. And that list is exhaustive. We're talking like 20 first-party games that all are good sellers, all could be games that people want. Like tons of people probably still could go out today and buy Metroid Dread. They could go buy DK since we don't have a new DK. They could buy Mario Strikers if it was on sale. So why are they all being removed? If I have to put my money on one of the two, I'm going to say a Player's Select line. I think that probably is more likely. I don't know that Nintendo wants to get goofy like Xbox has with like playable on all these different, like that became very confusing. Maybe all the Switch 1 games will work on Switch 2, but I'm not sure Nintendo wants to aggressively advertise that, especially after how they had such a debacle with the Wii U. I think in a lot of ways it's better if it's a clean break, at least in the mind of more, basic normal Walmart shoppers versus trying to like tie things together and make it seem like the Switch 2 isn't anything brand new. So I believe that this could be more likely a Nintendo Selects Player's Choice line. Nintendo has been very aggressive with sales this generation, much more so than the evergreen price points of past consoles. And so I think bringing a lot of these games back at $30 or $40 is a great way to just continue to build profit, right? They've already made these games, they've already got their returns, they've already made profit, so it's just like extra cake on top of their plate, and I think that's probably what's going on here. But we'll keep an eye on this. This is very weird, very interesting, and I think the best part is it all signifies the wheels are in motion, the cogs are turning, and the machine moving us from Switch 1 to Switch 2 is in effect, whether you like to believe it or not, we are moving towards a new console. There are a lot of signs, and they're just going to continue to get larger and brighter. But let me know what you think about all these Switch games going out of print. In the meantime, thanks so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. And until next time, love you lots. SwitchForce out. Go Lions!